The president of the Ukrainian Academy of Sciences makes a visit to Taiwan to learn more about Tzu Chi and meet Master Cheng Yen. And we'll learn about the problem of international athletes using performance-enhancing drugs and how sports organizations are responding. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Duncan DeAeth. Thank you for joining us. In our next report, we will meet the president of the Ukrainian Academy of Sciences, Onipko Oleksiy, who recently made a visit to Taiwan to meet Master Cheng Yen and learn more about Tzu Chi. In Taipei, the Ukrainian visitors went to the Nehu Tzu Chi grounds to learn about the recycling programs and environmental mission of Tzu Chi. They also made a trip to the Jingsi abode to meet with Master Cheng Yen and recognize the master as an honorary fellow of the Ukrainian Academy of Sciences. After discovering a number of inventions designed by Tzu Chi with compassion and a humanitarian perspective, the president of the Ukrainian Academy of Sciences was deeply impressed. He recently made a visit to the abode in Hualien to recognize Master Cheng Yen as an honorary fellow of the Ukrainian Academy of Sciences. The Chinese Society of Innovation was also there to recognize Master Cheng Yen for her contributions to disaster relief worldwide.
的确也是很感恩呐，专程了送来这样的这么大的礼物哈，真的是受之有愧，很不敢当。
The president of the academy came to the abode along with his son and grandson to participate in the year-end blessing ceremony. They were all impressed with the solemn ceremony and deeply moved by Tzu Chi's works all over the world.
Почему? Я думаю, ответ кроется во всей вашей деятельности, которую она развела здесь.
Why is it that we chose to give the award to Master Cheng Yen? Well, the reason is that Tzu Chi's volunteer activities have such a profound impact across the world. Tzu Chi is not only educating people, their missions are all for a greater cause. It is in recognition of these great efforts that we recognize Master Cheng Yen with this award.
И передачи этого желания оказывать помощь другим людям. Я считаю, это самое важное.
Over the two-day visit to Hualien, the president of the academy was able to receive a great deal of love and inspiration that he will use to plant more seeds of compassion and wisdom back in the Ukraine.
睡在地上，后来不忍心上来说开发可折叠式。
The inventions of Tzu Chi, like the folding bed, table, and chairs, are what originally caught the attention of the president of the Ukrainian Academy of Sciences. His interest in Tzu Chi's humanitarian activities led him to Taiwan to find out more about the organization.
Tzu Chi's contributions to the world are impressive. Many of the tragedies in the world are actually caused by mankind and are not natural at all. Organizations like Tzu Chi are helping teach people to avoid these disasters. At the end of the year, Tzu Chi is helping teach people to prevent disasters like these in the future.
Currently, the Ukrainian Academy of Sciences is helping in Japan to reduce radiation caused after the 3/11 disaster. After President Oleksiy's trip to Taiwan, he also hopes that there will be opportunities for Tzu Chi and the Academy to cooperate in the future. Mr. Oleksiy made a visit to the Nehu Tzu Chi grounds to learn firsthand about the organization's environmental protection and recycling mission.
I'm very surprised. This is the first time I've seen such a large operation. There are different ages of volunteers all working together. I think we should have something like this in the Ukraine. This should be spread across the entire world.
Seeing how plastic bottles are recycled and turned into blankets for the needy, the visitors from the Ukraine are deeply impressed. They will carry such ideas as inspiration with them back to the Ukraine, and hopefully a similar program can be instituted there. In May 2012, 2 earthquakes occurred in Italy's northeastern region, forcing tens of thousands of people to become homeless. Tzu Chi volunteers in Europe joined together to help. Then, from August to October this year, 4 earthquakes happened in central Italy, and Tzu Chi volunteers were there to help. Volunteers recently returned to the area to hold a year-end ceremony.
Before the Christmas, around 300 residents in Finale, Emilia, welcomed 25 Tzu Chi volunteers from 7 European countries to their city.
I was born here and I grew up in this city. I still remember the earthquake back then. It was so loud that it woke up every one of us.
What the mayor refers to were 2 earthquakes in May 2012. After the earthquakes, Tzu Chi volunteers in Europe held 3 winter distributions and have been visiting the city for 4 years. The residents certainly remember the images of Tzu Chi volunteers.
Mi ricordo sempre
I remember after the earthquake 4 years ago, your group came here several times. I still remember Master Cheng Yen's photo, Brother Paf, and these volunteers in their uniforms.
Tzu Chi volunteers have been visiting the locals for 4 years, and it leaves a deep impression on a local businessman, Claudio Sabatini.
People nowadays are used to work for money, so it's hard for them to believe there are people who are willing to give selflessly. I've been a Tzu Chi volunteer for years, so I've seen many people who are suspicious of Tzu Chi, and I often have to fight for Tzu Chi's ideal because these people don't understand that there are indeed people who can give help but don't ask for any return.
However, 4 earthquakes occurred in central Italy this year, bringing Tzu Chi volunteers in Europe to come together to re-establish bonds with Italy. Before going to disaster areas in central Italy, Tzu Chi volunteers came to Emilia for a year-end ceremony.
They thank us for always being there for them and not forgetting them. They have already regarded us like one family.
After the year-end ceremony is over, Tzu Chi volunteers will go to disaster areas in central Italy the following day to conduct a 2-day distribution.
As the year 2016 is coming to an end, Tzu Chi is holding aid distributions for more than 2,000 impoverished families throughout Vietnam. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers hosted a year-end aid distribution in Tzu Chi of Ho Chi Minh City, providing monetary aid and daily necessities for 300 families. Let's join them there.
Tzu Chi continues its relief work in Vietnam to the end of the year 2016. In total, more than 2,000 families throughout Vietnam can benefit from the year-end aid distribution. Among the recipients, residents from 300 families in Cu Chi of Ho Chi Minh City all gathered at Ho.
Though 50 cents sounds a little, it becomes a lot when many 50 cents are saved and can be used to do good deeds.
Before they receive assistance, these impoverished residents reciprocate by donating their money to help the needy. On this day, they receive monetary aid and daily necessities such as rice, vegetable oil, and rice flour.
I hope that Red Cross in Ho Chi Minh City can continue to work and learn with Tzu Chi and does everything possible to help disadvantaged residents.
Tzu Chi warms up each recipient's hearts while distributing the bag of rice to them.
As the winter temperatures drop in China, Tzu Chi volunteers have begun winter relief distributions across the country. In Hebei Province's Yi County, Tzu Chi volunteers recently conducted a final items inspection prior to the distribution to ensure that residents receive only good quality items. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteers in Shenzhen, Guangdong Province began their winter distribution on December 17th, distributing rice, oil, and blankets to 3,000 sanitation workers and their families.
Tzu Chi volunteers form a human chain to pass relief items from the chapter house onto the truck. Although it's a strenuous task, some sisters handle it with ease.
Sister Kai-jun came upstairs to look for brothers to help with heavy lifting, but there weren't any brothers here, so I told her I could help. She asked if I was sure, and I told her that I helped carry bags of rice here last year as well, so it shouldn't be a problem. So here I am.
Tzu Chi's winter distribution in Shenzhen is aimed at helping 3,000 sanitation workers and their families with preparation for this distribution beginning months prior. Tzu Chi volunteers even prepared handwritten spring couplets to be given as gifts.
This is a couplet. This one goes on top. This is the left couplet, and this is the right. This is a set, and we're giving them to the sanitation workers as gifts.
Now that we are able to give, we should seize the opportunity to do so. These opportunities don't always arise, so of course we have to make the most of it.
Besides organizing all of the relief items, volunteers also called several meetings to finalize the logistics to ensure everything goes smoothly on the day.
Everyone had a lot of good suggestions even after we reached a consensus. But we have set our eyes on the bigger picture and we are working towards that goal together.
With volunteers working towards a common goal, these sanitation workers will surely feel extra warm this winter. Snow has covered the grounds of the Tzu primary here in Yi County. Today, Tzu Chi volunteers have brought over various relief items to conduct a final inspection of the goods prior to the winter distribution.
When we are conducting the items inspection, we open up the comforter to examine its quality and also measuring and weighing it. I was really surprised by it actually. Volunteers took the effort to make sure they only give these villagers good quality items.
Besides inspecting the quality and weight of the comforters this year, volunteers also prepared bigger bags for locals to put their items in, which is also easier for them to carry.
This bag is about 1 meter in length and about 15 centimeters in width, so it can hold many items and it's also very sturdy. You can even carry it on your shoulder.
Yi County is one of the poorest regions in Hebei Province. Thus, since 2009, the Tzu Chi Foundation has been holding yearly winter relief distributions to help. The cycle of goodness and compassion has inspired many locals to become volunteers.
Among the winter relief items, the comforter and clothes will probably last these residents longer. Other items such as rice, noodles, and oil will likely only last them the winter. Given the opportunity to come here and form such deep affinities with the locals, we also hope to establish stronger bonds of friendship.
I am glad we are here in Yi County distributing goods, as there are many poor people, especially in the mountain villages. We definitely have to work harder and take on more responsibilities.
All the relief items have been hand-picked by volunteers. This is because they hope that once these residents receive them, will not only warm their bodies, but their hearts as well.
Taiwanese weightlifter Xu Jing impressed everyone by winning a gold medal at the Rio Olympics, while the other hope for the country, Tzu Chi, was disqualified for doping. Many people don't know that when it comes to sports, even simple cold medicines which contain ephedrine to relieve congestion can boost an athlete's performance and are therefore prohibited. For this reason, athletes must be especially careful and can't claim to be innocent about not knowing.
Beginning in June, Xu Jing began actively preparing for the Rio Olympics. Prior to these games, she received a big boost from the International Olympic Committee, who found that at the London Olympics, women's 53-kilogram gold medalist, Kazakhstan's Zhao Changling, failed the doping test, and Xu would be given a silver medal. Xu would add to her medal collection by winning gold in the Rio Olympics. Unfortunately, another member of the Taiwan team, Tzu Chi, was also found to be doping. Performance-enhancing drugs have always been a taboo subject in sports. Taisan, a well-known baseball player in Taiwan and a regular member of the national team, was found to have taken clomiphene, which led to his Olympic ban.
I have been married to my wife for 10 years, and we don't have any children. So I listened to some doctor's advice who told me to take this medicine to help conceive child. But I was called for doping and couldn't play in the 2008 Beijing Olympics because of this drug. But I'm still appreciative and named my soon-to-be-born son, Zhang Keruo, after the help from the drug. But my only regret is not being able to help my country at the Olympics. However, I'm happy to have a son of my own.
Looking back at Taiwan's Olympic history, in addition to Lin Tzu Chi being banned, veteran marathoner Su Yufang was banned for taking a diuretic drug. And at the 2008 Olympic Games, saw Zhang Taisan banned. The Sydney 2000 Olympics also saw 3 weightlifters banned, Chen Popu, along with Chen Ruilian and Wu Meiyi. Decathlon competitor Li Fuan says for decades there has been rapid development and evolution of drug testing.
In my time, there were no drug tests. As long as you eat well and get a little more nutrition and energy, that was all you need. So at the time, I don't think there wasn't a doping problem.
Actually, many people have the wrong perception about sports doping, as many of the typical medicines that normal people take are prohibited for athletes because they can boost their performance.
麻黄素它过去它是一个运动禁药，因为是麻黄素它是一个
Ephedrine is banned in sport because it can stimulate the central nervous system. When we catch a cold, we generally use ephedrine because it helps alleviate vasoconstriction, like when we have a stuffy nose, as it is good at alleviating this problem.
Ephedrine is part of most cold medicines to treat nasal congestion, but is also a stimulant when used in high concentrations. Inhaled steroids are also part of asthma-related beta-2 agonists, which can aid breathing. Unfortunately, these chemicals are not produced naturally by the body, and if found positive in a test, is a violation of the rules. EPO, which normally assists in anemia, renal failure, can help athletes enhance oxygen usage and improve endurance. This category requires regular blood tests, and testing higher than average will lead to a suspension. If there is a therapeutic need for the drug, it should be submitted for review as early as possible. In athletic competition, there is no longer the ability to claim innocence, as any type of cheating behavior will lead to high penalties. Improved detection technology can now catch up with unscrupulous athletes to ensure fairness in athletic competition.
To aid Syrian refugees, Tzu Chi volunteers across the world have been raising funds in their respective countries. In the Philippines, a group of kitchen volunteers in Quezon City recently made Chinese turnip cakes to raise funds to help the refugees this winter. Let's take a look.
Once a turnip is grated, it is then stir-fried in a large wok with shiitake mushrooms and seasoning. This is the kitchen of the Jingsa Hall here in the Philippines. Volunteers are busy making.
Right now, we are making Chinese turnip cakes for charity fundraising. There are so many disasters in the world, so we are all working collectively to help.
To help Syrian refugees, Tzu Chi volunteers around the world have been doing what they can to raise funds. And in the Philippines, volunteers are raising funds through the sale of turnip cakes.
The sister said this is part of the charity fundraiser to help refugee children from Syria. I'm happy to be a part of this effort. I bought 4 turnip cakes to share with my family.
When everyone heard that we were fundraising for international relief, they gladly supported the cause. Some people took some home to try and came back the following day to buy 40 more. We're really happy to be doing this.
The volunteers received widespread support for their efforts, and despite it being a busy few days without any time for rest, they say all the hard work was worth it.
Since the old dormitory at Fangliao High School in Pingdong was too old to be habitable, Tzu Chi Foundation offered to build a new dormitory for students 2 years ago to provide them a safer and cleaner living environment. Tzu Chi and the school recently collaborated to host a ceremony to celebrate its completion. Let's join them there.
On this day, the Fangliao High School's new dormitory, Tzu Chi Building, opens its doors. The old dormitory has a history of some 40 years. More than 40 students from remote villages have to sleep together on a mat. And because the steel bars of the building were exposed, which threatened the safety of students, Tzu Chi Foundation helped this school build a new dorm by providing monetary aid.
Students have a lot of potential, so we can help them grow up. Also, we can give them an opportunity to change their life through education and everyone's care.
With the help of the former and present school principals, the dorm has been completed, where bunk beds and bathrooms have been provided. The director of the school general affairs also joined to plan this building program 2 years ago. He wants to do everything possible to help the students.
Previously, they were unsatisfied, giving the dorm a low rank. But now, since they have moved into this new dorm, they're all fully satisfied with the dorm. I feel content after hearing about this. It was not hard work for me.
The captain of the school badminton team cherishes everything in the new dormitory.
Now we have a quiet place to study. It is also convenient for us to use the toilet. With these good things and a nice place, we should make good use of them.
With the new dormitory on campus, these students will study hard to repay Tzu Chi's selfless love.
In Keelung, Taiwan, the local government has opened a homeless shelter where local homeless can stay. Although everyone is grateful for the facility, there is little direct management and no regular maintenance. Therefore, the place can become messy quickly, and health risks arise over time. That's why local volunteers made a recent trip to clean up the facility and provide some new bed frames and blankets for residents. Furniture is disorganized. There is an endless amount of garbage to sweep up. This is a homeless center in Keelung, which is currently giving shelter to over 30 homeless people. However, there is no regular maintenance or direct management, which leads to a messy and unhealthy living environment. Tzu Chi is there to help clean up the place. Volunteers also prepare some wooden bed frames to give the homeless a better night's sleep. Each time volunteers visit the center, there are always issues that fill their hearts with worry. This area is the epicenter of the mold infestation. Worried for the residents' safety, volunteers decide to solve the problem immediately.
There are a lot of elderly people living here, and some have mobility issues. If we weren't here to help them clean the place up, they might slip and fall. Actually, while we were helping them out, one of the Tzu Chi volunteers slipped. I think after it has been cleaned, it will be much safer for them as they come and go.
With their new bed frames, new blankets, and a clean living environment, the volunteers are helping this place seem more like home for the residents. Hopefully, they will all rest easy through the winter months ahead. In Argentina and Chile, Tzu Chi volunteers are helping out in the local community to give the elderly a warm and happy holiday season. That's all the time we have for today. We'll leave you with these images, and we hope to see you again next time.